Ever find yourself daydreaming about packing a bag, grabbing your passport, and jetting off to a whole new life?
Who hasn't?
Exactly. But imagine this. You land in this new country, you fall in love with the place, the people, even the weird food, and you decide, hey, I could totally see myself planting roots here.
Sounds like the beginning of a beautiful adventure.
It totally does. But then comes the big question. What happens to your old life, your old home, your old, well, citizenship? Can you actually be a citizen of two places at once?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the answer, like most things in life, is it depends.
It's funny you should say that because today we're diving deep into the wild world of dual citizenship. We're going to unpack what it means, how it happens, and maybe even settle that whole million-dollar question thing.
Yeah.
And let's be real, a lot of our listeners are thinking about becoming Canadian, so we'll be sure to focus on what this all means for those e-seeking folks out there.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, so before we get lost in a sea of passports, let's clear something up. Dual citizenship, it's not some exclusive club with a secret handshake, right? It's more about finding yourself in a situation where two countries, through their own laws, basically look at you and say, yep, you're one of ours.
Precisely. It's not about choosing one over the other. It's about the laws of those countries overlapping in a way that says you're a citizen of both.
Okay, so that overlapping bit, how did that even happen? Our sources point to a few common scenarios. Like imagine you're born in, say, Brazil. Samba rhythms practically flowing through your veins.
I can hear the music now.
Right. But hold on. Your parents, they're from South Korea. K-pop is their jam. Bam. You might be eligible for citizenship in both countries right from the get-go.
It's true. Or let's say you're already a citizen of one country and decide to become a citizen in another, to naturalize, as they call it. Now, some countries might make you renounce your original citizenship, but others, not so much. You could end up with dual citizenship almost by accident.
No way. That's wild. I had no idea it could be that, unintentional.
It definitely happens. We see cases where someone immigrates to a new country, becomes a citizen, and then years down the line, they discover, hey, I could have reclaimed my original citizenship this whole time. Talk about a plot twist. Knowing the rules, it can make all the difference.
That's huge. It's like finding out you had a superpower you never knew about.
Exactly.
Speaking of superpowers, our sources bring up Canada. Seems like they're pretty chill about this whole dual citizenship thing.
Canada's actually pretty famous for it. They have a very open and welcoming approach.
So for those out there dreaming of maple syrup and breathtaking scenery, becoming Canadian doesn't have to mean saying see you later to their original passport.
Exactly. But here's the catch. Not all countries are as laid back as Canada.
Right, that makes sense.
Right.
One size fits all rarely ever actually fits all.
Exactly. Some countries might only allow dual citizenship under certain conditions. Like maybe you're a citizen by descent, meaning your parents or grandparents were citizens. Or some might say, look, you got to pick a side, one country or the other. It can get complicated.
So before you go booking that one-way ticket to, well, anywhere, it's probably a good idea to do a little research, right?
Absolutely. A little research can go a long way.
So where do we even start? Who do we call? Ghostbusters.
Probably not the Ghostbusters, but your home country's embassy is a great place to start. They'll have the most up-to-date information on their specific stance on dual citizenship.
Okay, so let's say you've done your research, you've consulted the experts, and you're thinking, okay, dual citizenship, it's a real possibility for me. What then? What's next?
Well, before you break out the champagne and start waving two flags, there are some real-world implications to consider. We're talking taxes, military service, even where your future kids might be considered citizens.
Whoa, slow down. Taxes, military service, kids, this just got real.
It did, but hey, that's why we're here, right?
Yeah.
To break it all down, let's start with taxes. Did you know some countries have these agreements called tax treaties? They're designed to prevent you from being taxed twice on the same income.
Okay, that makes sense. No one wants to pay double the taxes, right?
Exactly. But these treaties can be super complex, and not every country has them with every other country. So if you're working in one country and living in another, things can get, well, interesting.
Interesting, as in hire a really good accountant. Interesting.
Exactly. And then there's military service. Now, we know Canada doesn't have mandatory military service, but plenty of other countries do.
Right.
And having dual citizenship could mean you're technically obligated to serve in two different militaries.
Talk about a logistical nightmare.
Tell me about it. And let's not forget about the kids. Some countries grant citizenship based on where you're born, regardless of your citizenship. So your child could be born in one country, but be eligible for citizenship in two or even three others just because of you and your partner.
Wow, this is a lot to think about.
It is, and honestly, we've only scratched the surface here.
It really makes you wonder, in a world that's more connected than ever, does holding multiple citizenships make you more of a global citizen? Does it mean you have a richer, more diverse sense of belonging? Or does it just make life more complicated? Is it possible to truly be a citizen of multiple places at once? Or will there always be a part of you that has to choose? Just some food for thought as you embark on your own dual citizenship adventure.